Hello and welcome. This one is a get ready for autumn practice. Autumn's in the air, and this practice is designed to get the respiratory system working really well and to boost your immunity and just make sure that you avoid all that sort of build up of mucus that often comes with the sort of September to December months. So we're going to start sitting, and we'll start with a bit of work on lung capacity. So come and take a comfortable seat. If that's cross legs for you, then that's fine. Or another seat might be better for you, like kneeling or legs in front. And let's just begin sitting tall. So the first thing that you can do for your respiratory system is align your spine well. So coming to sit so the spine is really tall. The sitting bones are grounding down into the earth, so that sort of bowl of the pelvis is anchored to the ground. And then this long chain of the spine rises up out of that bowl of the pelvis. And it extends in both directions, from the tailbone down into the earth, and then also up through the crown of the head. Lift the roof of the mouth up towards the crown of the head, as if the roof of the mouth is sort of suspended from the crown. And then breathe. So you don't have to breathe in any special way, just relax around the breath. So notice if you're holding tension, if you're sort of armoring yourself around your chest and your shoulders, and just see if you can soften into the breath and allow the breath to rise up with the inhale through the whole circumference of the torso, and allow it to gently subside as you exhale. And now bring your hands to your side ribs and begin to breathe into your hands. So you're encouraging the breath to expand out into the side ribs, and then feel the rib cage retract and sort of condense back in with the exhale. So it's kind of like playing an accordion. And the lungs sort of work like bellows. So if you imagine a pair of bellows, they sort of expand out with the inhale and then hug back in with the exhale. All right, lovely. Let's bring the hands to the upper back. So your hands are resting just behind the shoulders there on the upper back, and then begin to breathe up into your hands in the upper back. Not quite as easy. It might take a little bit more concentration. It could help to close your eyes. And it might be that you feel no movement at all at first, and that's fine. And just breathing with that intention, it can be very powerful. Things will start to happen soon. One more breath like this. And now release the hands, come into child's pose. So we're going to go to kneeling, and then have the knees wide if that's comfortable, have them together if that's comfortable for you, and then fold forward and have your arms wrapping behind you, sort of around the sides, so that the backs of the hands are resting on the ground. And so you get this full breadth of the upper back available to the breath now. So just beginning to breathe with the inhale, lifting up into the upper back, and then the breath sort of moving, flowing down the back like a wave, expanding into the back of the diaphragm, into the lower region of the back, into the back of the pelvis. And then just let yourself sink into the exhale. So moving the breath like a wave all the way down the back. Let's do 3 breaths like this. And then using your hands to help you slowly uncurl. Come all the way up to sit onto the heels. And come and take a seat again. Bring your hands to your lower belly for Kapalabhati. If you're used to Kapalabhati, then you may not need the hands on the belly. The hands are there as a guide for the breath. So we're going to take an inhale, full inhale. And as you exhale, push the breath out from the lower belly. And then inhale. push the breath out. So the navel draws quite sharply back towards the spine. Let's do 20. So with an inhale, we'll start rapidly. Last one, a full exhale. And then a full inhale. Reach the arms up. Retain the breath. Breathe all the way up to the armpits. Maybe inhale a little bit more. And then release the arms to the sides. Okay, very good. So we're going to come all the way up to standing. Come and take a Tadasana. And then we're going to do some shoulder breathing. Actually, let's stand with the feet about hip distance apart so they support the pelvis really well, so you're steady. And then inhaling, lift the shoulders up. Exhaling, let them drop down. Good. Bring the arms wide out to the sides. I'll show you in slow motion first. We're going to take an inhale, spread the chest all the way down to the fingertips with the inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to turn and bring the hand to tap the breastbone. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhaling, turn, tap the hand to the breastbone. Ready? Inhale, exhale. Five, four, three, two, one. And then a full inhale, bring the arms wide. Exhale, ragdoll into a forward bend. Breathe here. Soften the base of the skull, let the head hang, allow all the sensation to come, all that blood flow into the brain. Maybe you can feel the sensation in the shoulders and the arms and the hands too. And then uncurl, come all the way up to standing. Rooting the feet down into the ground as you rise up. And then bring the arms up, interlace the fingers and press the palms up towards the ceiling. Grip the fingertips together and then try and pull the hands apart. And then breathe all the way up to the armpits, all the way up to the collarbones. Feel the breath rising up into the upper body. A cleansing breath, cleaning away all the cobwebs. One more breath. And then just let the arms float down to the sides. Let the arms drape at the sides. And again, just notice any sensation that you can feel. So we're going to come and stand up at the top of the mat. Step your left foot back so that the left toes will turn out. And we're coming towards a warrior number one. Let's set the lower body stance first so that the hips are facing forward. Make sure you have enough space laterally in between your feet. If you go too far, you'll end up with a stance that's just a little bit crooked. And if you go too narrow, you will also end up with a stance that's a little bit crooked. You can try both those extremes and feel what it does to your lower back and the shape of your pelvis. So if you have a couple of inches sort of laterally in between the feet, you'll be able to just have the pelvis easily facing forward and you'll be able to sit down quite comfortably into your seat. Okay? Make the lower body heavy. So the soles of the feet become heavy and drop into the earth. For now, just let the arms drape at the side like pendulums. Lift the lower belly up out of the pelvis and root down through the tailbone. So the tailbone's lengthening down towards the earth. And then with an inhale, reach the arms forward, reach the arms up, come into your full warrior one. And you'll be able to feel here what this pose does for the breath. It's a beautiful heart opening pose that really opens up this expanse across the front of the chest, the front of the ribs. And now breathe into the front and the back of the chest. So as well as breathing forward, you're breathing back. Try that. Make the feet heavy, a little toning through the pelvic floor, which is lifting up slightly into the body. Use the side ribs. So while your abdomen is strong, you won't have so much movement for the breath in the abdomen. You can use the space in the side body instead. And then bring that right leg all the way back to straight. Keep this pose with the legs straight. Interlace your fingers and lift the knuckles away from the sacrum. Another pose that opens up the front of the chest, but a little bit higher up here. See if you can breathe now all the way up to the collarbones, the outer edges of the collarbones. See if the breath can reach all the way up there. And then we're going to fold in. Keep the chest lifting as you fold forward. Coming into your forward bend, lift the knuckles, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Full breath. Really focus on the breath. Notice if you tend to shorten the breath. And then with an inhale, I come all the way up to standing. Okay, so let's release the arms. Bend the front knee, place the hands to the ground, and then take a step back into down dog. And notice in down dog which side feels more alive, which feels more light, which feels more open and free, which side feels longer. And again, breathe into the front and the back of the chest. Gravity is working a different way on the lungs now. So notice how that feels. There probably isn't so much movement in the belly as the diaphragm isn't pressing down quite so much to expand the abdomen with the inhale as it does when you're sitting. Okay, so let's step the feet forward to the front. Bring the hands to the hips, lift the chest, rise up, come all the way up to standing. Let's do the other side. So the right foot's going to step back or turn the toes out. Make sure you have enough lateral space in between the feet. Take a bend in the front knee. And then just check that back heel can be easily on the ground. If it's not, then step forward until it is. And just make sure also, a safety point here, that the knee isn't overshooting the ankle. Roll the left hip back. Good. So stay super strong in the legs, especially that right leg. So the right leg is pressing back, rolling in and pressing back towards the back of the room. Lift the belly. And then just allow the arms to rest at the sides. A gentle toning through the pelvic floor. Just notice here how you're being moved by your breath. And now sweep the arms up. Come into warrior number 1, Virabhadrasana 1. So the bum isn't clenching here. It's that there'll be some toning in the buttocks, but don't grip the buttocks. They will naturally tone as much as they need to. Breathe into the side body, into the front and the back of the chest. And with your next inhale, breathe all the way up to the very tips of the fingers. And then imagine drawing the breath in through the fingertips, all the way down into the heart. So bring that left leg back to straight. Interlace the fingers the other way so that the other index finger sits on top, so it feels a bit strange. You might need to adjust your feet slightly here. I always do, to feel stable with the legs straight. Lift the knuckles away from the sacrum. Take an inhale all the way up to the outer collarbones. And then exhale, fold in. Rolling the left hip back. Coming into your Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. See if you can relax the toes. And sometimes the soles of the feet get a bit scrunched up. So if you lift the toes and give them a wiggle, it might help you to relax them better. And keep rolling that left hip back in space. And then with your inhale, come all the way up. And release the arms. Good. So let's take a wide stance. Turn your right toes out. Turn your left toes in. And we're coming into triangle. So with an inhale, bring the arms wide. And with your exhale, you're going to slide over towards the right. Move into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Make the lower body so strong and sturdy that the upper body feels light and free, almost weightless. Length along the spine. Really call on all those muscles that are supporting the spine by lengthening the tailbone down and extending forward through the crown. Maybe turn the head if your neck feels okay here. And then coming all the way up, bend the front knee. I'm going to take a wider stance to do this. You probably will too. And then turn to gaze over the middle finger of that right hand. Strong legs from the pelvis. Grow the legs a little bit longer. Come into side angle pose. The forearm will rest on the thigh and the left arm will extend alongside the ear. The belly turns up towards the ceiling, the ribs turn, lift up out of that right shoulder. The tendency is to kind of go into your turtle shell there. And place the hands to the ground. Keep that back foot on the ground. And then begin to bend a little bit deeper into that right knee if you can. The next stage, optionally, is to thread that right arm underneath and place the right hand just outside the right ankle. And then bend even deeper. So you're kind of sitting down onto the back of that right arm. Take the chest forward. And then bring the back knee to the ground. Place the hands inside the right foot. You walk the right foot over to the right a little bit here. And then lunge forward. And you might here bring your forearms to the ground or rest your forearms down onto blocks. Tuck the back toes. Lift from the inner right thigh to lift the knee away from the ground. Hold it here, 5 breaths. Lots of breath. Use all the space available to breathe into. Last breath. And then release down. Good. Press yourself all the way back up. We're going to spin the left heel to the ground. Bend the right knee. Windmill all the way up to standing. And then release the pose. Turn the right toes in. Turn the left toes out. Take an inhale. Bring the arms wide. And then slide over towards the left. Seesawing into triangle pose. Finding your way into the posture. Just check in with that left knee. Just make sure it's not locking out. It's very common for that to happen. Breathing across the whole breadth of the chest into the side ribs. Lovely. Bend the knee. Come into warrior number 2. Really sink that left sitting bone deep down towards the ground. Open out across the heart. Welcome in the breath. Bring the sides of the jaw back. If you tend to jut the chin, that's another way we can sort of posturally inhibit the breath so that the sides of the jaw come back and the throat can open. From here, side angle pose, taking the arm alongside the ear. Plant the right foot firmly into the ground, the outer edge of the foot as well as the inner edge. Lengthen along the side waist here. And then place the hands to the ground. back foot stays on the ground. And then we're going to tuck that left shoulder underneath the knee if it will go. Just stay where you are if it feels awkward. And then have the left hand outside the ankle. Maybe bend that front knee a little bit more. Lift the left hip up. Take the chest forward. Bring the back knee to the ground. Walk that left foot out to the left. Place the hands inside the front foot and then fold in. You might here bring your forearms to the ground or have the forearms resting on blocks. Tuck the back toes under. Lift from the inner right thigh. Press the back heel back and the front knee forward. Hold it here, 5 breaths. Use the strength from the lower abdomen, the pelvic floor. Cinch the breastbone down towards the pubic bone. Just 2 more breaths. Last breath. I still love you. Let's bring the knee down to the ground. Well done. And take a step back into down dog. Give the hips a bit of a wiggle here. They'll probably need it. Good. And then we're going into a thigh stretch. So knees come down and we'll step the left foot forward. So we're in a lunge. You might need to pad the back knee here or elevate the back knee if you know that you've got tight quads. Bend the back knee. So reach around with the right hand. Hold the foot or lasso the foot with the belt. Drop the weight forward into the front foot and then draw that heel in towards the outer hip. If you've got your balance here and you want to try another little touch, then reach the left arm up. Breathe here. So that right armpit chest is really opening up to the breath. Use that space to breathe. And then release down. Let's change sides. Right foot comes forward. Climb up onto the front knee. We're going to bend the left knee, take hold at the top of the foot, drop forward and draw the heel towards the outer hip. And keep wrapping that left hip like a clamshell. It's going to wrap around towards the front. Reach the right arm up if you're there. And release. Okay, good. So let's come and take a seat. So if you just sit back on your heels, swing the legs out in front. Have the feet standing in front of you, hold on to the backs of the thighs and then lift the feet away from the ground. So we're going to tuck the chest in towards the thighs. Release the arms if you can. Next stage, straighten the legs. Hold it here. Again, use the lower abdominal muscles, the pelvic floor muscles, and avoid rounding the back here. Keep lifting up, rolling the shoulders back. We're just here for 1 more breath. And then release down. Let's come and lie on the back. Placing the feet just in front of the hips. Plant the feet down into the ground. Let the shoulders relax back into the ground. Actually, let's do this. Let's take an inhale to lift the shoulders up towards the ears. And then as you exhale, press the shoulder blades back into the ground and walk them down the back. And then relax down into your semi-supine position with the shoulders a little bit more open now. Plant the feet down and then begin to lift the hips up. So the hips rise up away from the ground. The shins press forward. Next stage here is to walk the hands, walk the shoulder blades together, interlace the fingers underneath you, and then lift the chest. Keep the thighs hugging together. And breathe into the breastbone. into the solar plexus. Exhaling to release all the way down. Roll over onto one side, come all the way up to seated. And we're going to have the right heel tucked in towards the groin and the left leg wide out to the side. Bring your left hand to rest on your right knee. Inhale, reach the right arm up, and then exhale, arch over towards the left. Turn the right palm forward and then swim the arm down with an exhale. As you inhale, circle the arm up and then exhale, swim the arm down. Try and stay in your side bend. Last one. Keep the arm alongside the ear now. And then release. Let's go to the other side. So we'll draw the left heel in, the right foot will slide away. The right hand will rest on the left knee. Take an inhale, reach the left arm up, and then exhale, arch over towards the right. Palm faces forward. Inhale. And then exhale, swim the arm down the side. Inhale, reaching up and over. Exhale. Last one, bringing the arm up and over. Hold it there for a breath. And then release. Lovely, let's come and lie on the back. Have the legs straight out in front and bring your right knee into your chest. If you have a belt, it will be very useful now, or a scarf or a blanket or a tie or anything. And then place it across the sole of the left foot and press the left leg towards straight. If you don't have anything like that, then just hold on to the back of the thigh. But from here, we're going over. So we're going to release the left arm so it'll rest at the side. Take your belt in your right hand and then roll over onto the right side. Scoot the pelvis over to the left a little bit and keep the left shoulder blade resting on the ground. If you don't have a belt or similar, then just place your hand on the outside of your leg, on the outer seam. If you can hold the foot, then just hold on to the foot. Lovely. And then let's bring that left leg all the way back up. Let's do the other side. So straightening the left leg out, bring the right foot in, and we'll press the leg towards straight. Just take a moment here, and then we're going over. It will help to scoot the hips to the right, or especially if you're right next to a wall, but even if you're not right next to a wall like I am, then it will help to scoot. The right shoulder blade stays on the ground or near the ground. I'm going to turn the head towards the right. To intensify the pose, straighten both legs. And conversely, for a gentler pose, then bend the knees. And let's come all the way back up. Great stuff. So let's take both knees into the chest. Oops, I think I just broke my mic. Never mind. Bring both knees into the chest. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, bring your forehead towards your knees. Hold it there for a couple of breaths. And then roll the spine down onto the ground. Come into Shavasana. So bringing the legs out straight in front, the arms to rest at the sides. The toes roll out to either side. The backs of the hands rest softly against the ground. And then just allow yourself to fall into your relaxation. Softening the body down onto the earth, letting go of any unnecessary efforts. Soften the shoulders, relax the belly, allow the waistline to soften back towards the earth. Relax the soles of the feet. And just allow yourself to be gently rocked by your breath. If you have longer, then stay for as long as you can. If it's time for you to move on to the rest of your day, then very gently, mindfully, we're still doing yoga, roll over onto one side and come all the way up to seated. Bring the hands to the heart in a gesture of reverence, giving thanks to all the great teachers of yoga from over the millennia, giving thanks to yourself for giving yourself this practice today. Namaste.